Hi, and welcome to the first class of Breslev Pirkey Avot. We are going to start. Here's a cover of the book, a picture of the cover. We're going to start in the Introductory Teaching. I'm going to read the Hebrew and then translate, and then we're going to go into the commentaries, see what comes up. So, B'Shem Hashem, נעשה ונצליח. כל ישראל יש להם חלק לעולם הבא, שנאמר, ועמך כולם צדיקים, לעולם ירשו ארץ, נצר מתי, מעשה ידי להתפאר. All the people of Israel have a portion in the world to come. As it is written, your people are all tzaddikim. They shall inherit the earth forever. They are the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, in which I will take pride. Just taken from Isaiah. So the book starts and it says, your people are all tzaddikim. Rabbi Natan says, Pirkei Avot is composed of ethical instruction to promote our spiritual benefit. That is why it is customary to read the above teaching prior to the study of each chapter. It reminds us that the words of true tzaddikim are meant to draw us closer to the Torah and to God. The prophet Isaiah states, your people are all tzaddikim. Are we? Perhaps not at present. Nevertheless, the true tzaddikim of each generation seek out the hidden good in every Jew, so that, in light of our good points, we too may be considered tzaddikim. So he says here something really beautiful. He says, maybe right now we're not tzaddikim. Maybe we don't see ourselves as tzaddikim, or maybe our actions aren't there. But since we know that we have that potential within us, we can look for that positive point in everybody, and we can always really become or be tzaddikim. Moreover, as a result of the good eye, Ayin Tov, with which we are viewed by the true tzaddikim, we become motivated to serve God and thereby fulfill our destiny in this world and in the world to come. So the good eye, what makes somebody a tzaddik, at least it can be read between the lines here, is that they look at you with a good eye. They see the good in you. So when somebody sees the good in you, then you can start to see the good in yourself. And that motivates you to actually do something about the good that's within you. Thus, Isaiah declares, they shall inherit the Eretz, the earth or land, forever. We will inherit both Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, and Eretz HaChaim, the land of the living, that is, the world to come. Okay. Every Jew is called a tzaddik. As Isaiah states, your people are all tzaddikim. This is particularly true of those who strive with all their will to come closer to God. So here, he makes a distinction. He says, those who strive with their will to get closer to God, it doesn't say to do more mitzvahs. It doesn't say to study more. It says to get closer to God, to have the ratzon or the will to want to have a close relationship with God. Inevitably, they must confront much darkness, some seemingly without end. But by drawing on the power of their ratzon, which is called a candle of God, they have the ability to dispel the darkness and surmount all obstacles. So here he calls it the candle of God. I usually connect to it more with that spark that's within us. So what he's saying is it doesn't matter how dark things may seem. It doesn't matter how bad things may seem. We can always tap into that spark of holiness, that godliness that's within us, and that'll give us the strength to get through any darkness. In this way, they will rise up from any and every possible spiritual decline, from darkness to the greatest light. Beautiful. And that's from Likutei Halachot. Now, Reb Nassan continues. Our sages teach us, why was the world to come created with the letter Yud, the smallest letter of the Hebrew alphabet? The answer is because the tzaddikim in the world to come will be few. This is surprising, for our sages also state, all the people of Israel have a portion in the world to come. And as the prophet Isaiah states, your people are all tzaddikim. They shall inherit the land forever. Kind of a contradiction. However, we can resolve this apparent discrepancy by studying these two Torah verses. For you are a people set apart for God. Therefore, he has chosen you from all the nations of the world to be a special treasure. Not because you were greater in number than any other nation did God set his sights upon you and choose you. For you are the fewest in number and the smallest of all nations. but because of his love for you and because of the vow he made to your ancestors. And to continue, as Rashi explains, me'at here connotes humility, me'at being the small of the nations. God has chosen you because you do not boast and glorify yourselves when he bestows blessing upon you. Rather, he has his sights upon you because you are me'at, that is, because you make yourselves small, like Abraham, who said, I am but dust and but ashes, and like Moses and Aaron, who said, what are we? So here, the me'at, the few tzaddikim that will be found in the world to come, that few might not be relative to all of Am Yisrael, because all of Am Yisrael were all tzaddikim, but rather possibly in a comparison to the rest of the world. This explains why tzaddikim in the world to come will be few. Although all Jews have a portion in the world to come, they are the smallest of the nations. Moreover, they will be extremely humble, for the world to come can only be experienced through humility. So here also he's touching on humility. What is humility? I think we've always had, and this will come up a lot, humility isn't saying I'm nobody. It's rather saying, okay, I am receiving this gift, and I don't believe I am better, or I'm not going to boast about what I'm getting. That's humility. It's not denying who you are, but rather not believing that you are more because of the gifts that you've been given. Continuing with the introduction, they shall inherit the earth forever. Rabbi Nassan teaches, the main goal of all our work in this world is to be reunited with Or Ein Sof, the light of the Infinite One, that ultimate, beautiful, pure white light, and still maintain our separate existence. This is what we refer to when we speak of the eternal delight of the world to come. We merit this only by refining our physical desires and sanctifying ourselves to the fullest extent possible. And we accomplish this only by realizing how small we are and how truly great God is. This is humility, the humility of Moses, which is embodied by the great tzaddikim. When we bond with these tzaddikim, we can attain the goal and purpose for which the whole world was created, namely, to be reunited with the Or Ein Sof. So here he brings another angle of humility. So Moshe Rabbeinu, he was the greatest of all, but he was the most humble because he realized relative to the greatness and the beauty and the glory of Hashem, who's he? So that's humility, is saying, even though I am the greatest prophet in the world, next to the true essence of all essences, who am I to boast? In truth, everything we undertake in this world, from the simplest form of manual labor to the most complex use of our intellect, is meant to refine all the sparks of holiness that are connected to our souls and elevate them, so that they can be reincorporated into their source in God. You see, we're all energetic beings and creatures, and within our energy, there's these sparks of holiness, and our actions either release those sparks, or they put more like films or coats or filters on those sparks, stopping them from being released. However, if a person doesn't succeed in sanctifying himself completely, such that a spirit of impurity still adheres to his body, he must endure the pain of experiencing the decomposition of his body in the earth until he attains total purification. Okay? Only then will his soul ascend to its source to enjoy the reward for his efforts in serving God and only pursuing holiness. This follows the adage, only he who exerts himself on Friday will be able to partake of the fruits of his labor on Shabbat, that is, in the world to come, which is called the Great Shabbat. So here's something beautiful. It's a beautiful concept. It's saying when we toil, when we do things, when we put in an effort, then we can actually enjoy the fruits of our labor. So the example of Shabbat, if I didn't cook my food before Shabbat, when Shabbat comes around, I'm not going to be able to eat cooked food. Doesn't matter how much I want to. If I want to keep Shabbat and I haven't prepared for it, I won't be able to enjoy it. So too in this world and in the world to come. If I do not prepare for things, if I do not prepare for my life, for my day, for my actions, for everything, then I won't be able to enjoy the fruits of any of my labor. For this reason, everyone must return to earth in order to be purified. As it is written, everything comes from the earth, and everything returns to the earth. Precisely, the dust is everything broken down and purified in the end. This is because the earth possesses two aspects. In one respect, the earth represents ayin, literally nothingness, here meaning humility. As Abraham declared, I am but dust and ashes. And as our sages state concerning the resurrection of the dead, awake and sing, O you who dwell in the dust. This refers to one who becomes a dweller in the dust during his lifetime. In another respect, earth symbolizes yeshut, literally somethingness, here meaning materiality or ego. In view of this, we can understand why Adam was created from the dust of the earth. It was so that he and we, his progeny, could purify and sanctify ourselves by our own efforts. If we truly exert ourselves in this endeavor, transforming our egos and making ourselves like dust, we can divest ourselves of the limitations of the body, even while dwelling in the dust of the body. Upon burial, we will merge with God in total humility, like Moses, who personified the dust of the earth, and as a result will immediately attain spiritual perfection and the bond with Or Ein Sof. Levels of, I guess, where we can aim to be, but at the same time just to know that there is a process to it. Therefore, the Mishnah states, all the people of Israel have a portion in the world to come, and all of them are called tzaddikim. Your people are all tzaddikim. They shall inherit the earth forever. For everything comes from the earth, and everything must return to the earth, to become purified there. So beyond measure is another little part. It says, Rabbi Nachman once remarked, even the glimpse of the world to come that we can experience in this world, when God bestows his good grace upon us, is beyond all measure. So we've had some of the things that we get a taste of the world to come, we get a taste of some of these things, and even just a taste of it is enough to make all of it wow. So that's today's first part, an introduction to just another language that we're going to be speaking throughout this book. Thank you very much.